Have you ever been mistreated due to your gender or on basis of your gender? Or have you ever been threatened from doing something or even obstructed from doing something due to your gender? It is gender-based violence. There are very many forms of gender-based violence. Even others, we don't know that there are forms of gender-based violence. And yet, it is a form of gender-based violence. 2020, from January to December, 5,009 cases of GBV were reported. And remember, these are only cases that were reported. And I'm sure there are those that are happening, but they're not being reported. So today in Youth Root, we are taking interest and discussing about those gender-based violence. So come with me as we discuss that topic. Welcome, sir, to Youth Root.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, though you are not that new to Youth Root, we've been having you, we've been discussing a lot of topics. So you can just, for the one who is viewing it for the first time, just introduce yourself, who you are.
Okay, I'm Michael Kishoyan, a student at Mount Kenya University, and I'm also a sexual reproductive health advocate. As I mentioned earlier, that I am also the mental health advocate. But now that point here, it's relevant here, but not that much. So basically, I am that person who wants to see the youth the plights of the youth are taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, so dear audience, you can keep the conversation flowing from wherever you are. Twitter is at Wafula_Quinto, hashtag is Youth Root, Facebook Youth Root. Also, you can do the same, Facebook Quinto Wafula, and we'll be communicating. You can also view this video later through YouTube. The channel is Sir Quinto. So, sir, let's right away go to the topic of the day. What is GBV? What is gender-based violence?
Okay, GBV, or rather gender-based violence, is an act that is contrary to the consent of the person who is a victim, in that you force a person or you enter into a person's life privacy without that person's consent. There are many forms of gender-based violence. It may the men or the boys can be the victims, and more so in the cases that we are handling, there are a lot of cases concerning the girls and also women. There are violence against women, which is very rampant, and few cases are recorded for the men and the boys. Yeah.
Okay, so you have already answered the question that I was to ask you next about some of the forms of GBV.
Yes.
But now, what if we go into the causes? What causes GBV? Because according to the statistics show that this GBV is increasing each and every year. Each and every year it is increasing. So what are some of the causes?
There are a lot of causes depending on the case at hand. First of all, we have the cases for sexual harassment of the ladies, of both the ladies and men. You find that girls are molested sexually. Girls are raped. That's a form of gender-based violence. We also have got coercion. Coercion is where someone seeks favor, or rather, someone is molested sexually for favors. You find that a person, for example, ladies give out their bodies in favor of marks in campuses and in schools. You also find that ladies also are vulnerable in giving out themselves in favor of jobs. That's a form of gender-based violence. That is coercion.
Yeah, same as we are speaking about ladies, men also, or gents also find themselves in
gents also find themselves. You see, Also, another cause of gender-based violence is poverty. Poverty in that someone has lost hope, and the only way to get these favors is by giving out their bodies. And you find that even boys or even young men give out themselves to men, to the fellow men or other older ladies. You see, so that's a form of gender-based violence. We also have got harassment. That is physical harassment or physical beating. We find that a lady or a man is beaten physically. Unapata unaumizwa sana, you are kicked, you are hit, and bruises, blood is is oozed. We also have another form of gender-based violence, economic gender-based violence. You find that people are exploited economically. People are manipulated. People are conned. Some people tend to be so smart. And you find that I think it's very true that ladies are kind of naive to some of these issues. I can say they are easily manipulated. They are easily cheated on. So you find that cunning men or cunning women find their way into these people's consent, and they end up stealing money from them, stealing finances from them. Another last gender-based form of gender-based violence, which arises in the terms of ladies and girls, you find that a lot of girls are mutilated genitally. Their genitals are mutilated. That is very rampant in some communities in Kenya and also in Africa. You find that ladies are mutilated. Others are given out to be married at early stages, at early ages. Young girls are given to marriage, and also early pregnancies for the girls. That's also a form of gender-based violence. You find that a girl is raped, she becomes a young mother. Yeah.
So we were speaking about some of the effects of or the causes of gender-based violence.
Yeah.
But we went also to an extent because we find that forms sometimes they relate so much with the effects, the causes, and the forms. They relate so much. So we've already mentioned out, or we've already singled out some of the forms and also the causes. Any cause that you've left out, those causes of GBV?
Okay.
Can we say also like poverty can be a cause of GBV?
Absolutely. You find that also poverty causes some kind of gender-based violence. You find that someone is poor or someone has lost hope. So giving out themselves to be manipulated or to be used or to be harassed is so easy. You also find that these people find favor or seek favor. Also, someone who is of stronger or someone who is superior than these poor people, they manipulate them, because at the end of the day, someone is there saying that this person will not take me anywhere. We also have wars or civil wars, that is conflicts. You find that when there is a lot of wars, gender-based violence arises. You find that the conflicting parties, women also find themselves getting harassed in the long run. Also, I can say that the policemen also, when a conflict arises, in the name of bringing peace, women find themselves victims, because some policemen, I think you saw a case in Kisumu where policemen were getting into the houses of people and raping women. You see, So wars can also form or cause gender-based violence. Another thing that is very important, that is very, very affecting the youth currently, is the relationships, the toxic relationships. You find that ladies find themselves in very bad situations. A recent case of this week, on Monday, a lady was brutally killed in cold blood, just because of gender-based violence. Relationship matters. You find that ladies or youth or people indulge themselves in relationships, and whenever a conflict arises, either of the party is affected by either the lady kills the man or the man kills the lady. But more so the cases are the ladies are killed by men. Although we also have ladies killing men. Yeah.
So we've already looked into that. So we can say that both gender, we cannot say that only one gender is vulnerable for this.
Yeah.
And we can say that people who are vulnerable are like those are like poor. People who are poor, like you'll find that a lady sees that she's lacking something, and at the same time she ought to have it. So like she says that because I need something and I'm poor. We can say that also, or what are some of, or who are some of these people who are vulnerable to this GBV?
Okay, when it comes to the vulnerables or the people who are prone to getting into victims or victimized by the gender-based violence, I can say that it is both men and women. Because we find that other men, also boys, are harassed by women. Young boys who are not in the position, or who are very young, are manipulated or are harassed by women, old women. So also you find that ladies or girls are also molested sexually, harassed sexually. So I can say that we are all vulnerable to sexual or gender-based violence. And when I talk about gender-based violence, it is not necessarily about sexual or sexual harassment. We also find that young boys are beaten up by their mothers. There are cases where women are killed or are beating their sons. There was a recent case in Narok where a woman burnt her boy or her son with hot or with boiling oil. So sad, boiling oil. Just because the young boy came from school with having that, he was so hungry that he found some fish prepared by the mother and ate it. Now the mother was so upset that she burnt the boy with the oil, with the cooking oil that she was using. So I can say that we are all vulnerables of gender-based violence. At any given time, we should always be very careful, because something may arise and we find ourselves victimized by these forms of violences.
GBV has brought a lot, very many effects to the society.
Yeah.
So one of them being death, as you just said. So which are these some of the or other causes or other effects that GBV has brought? The effects of GBV.
Okay, there are a lot of effects to the community when it comes to gender-based violence. One, I've talked about it, is loss of lives. A lot of people are being killed when it comes to gender-based violence. Okay, another effect is trauma. People are traumatized, and when these people are traumatized, I can say that the result or the cause of this trauma is because of the death of the relatives. You find that your brother has been killed, or your brother rather has been killed due to gender-based violence. You find that the people that are left behind are left to be regretting, left to be depressed, and this is another cause of depression. Also, another effect is long-term effect of gender-based violence. People, the victims of gender-based violence, will live regretting. A certain story of a lady. She was a former prime minister of a certain country. I think it was in Ghana or Congo. A lady, a former, she's an older lady, but her uncle molested her while she was 7 years old, and she has been living with all these regrets. I can say another effect of gender-based violence is regret. A person lives with a life of grief. This person did this to me. And when it comes to these cases of rape, a young lady, a young girl was raped by a man. You find that this lady hates all men, even including her father. When she sees a man, she just sees an evil person. So that's a cause. That's an ill effect because someone lives in regrets. Another effect of gender-based violence is the community will lose people. When it comes to early pregnancies and early marriages, remember these are young girls who are supposed to be in school. What about in the future? We'll not be having people, the working class. These people will just be young mothers, will just be mothers, housewives. I'd say rather, housewives. You find that the dependency percentage will increase because these people, we are living in a very competitive world where someone needs to be educated for him or her to work. Even nowadays, the housemaids, they must produce or they must acquire a certificate, a Form 4 certificate. Or even some people prefer someone to be having a course or having joined a tertiary institution to be employed as a housemaid. What will happen if these children or if in the future, what will happen in the future if these children will not go to school? You'll find that there will be a lot of dependency, and poverty will be a very, very rampant effect or something that will disturb the nation in the near future. Another effect, because gender-based violence has got a lot of effects. Okay, another effect is that I've talked about loss of lives. I've talked about regrets and also dependency. Another effect is that I find myself the government or the organizations that work to reduce these cases of gender-based violence, you find that they will be overworked. These people will be overworked. They will be overwhelmed by this work because each and every day, a case is there, and you find that this person or these people also have their own activities to look or to partake. So other people will be overwhelmed by the work. So those are I can say those are the effects of gender-based violence.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear audience. This is Youth Root Show, and we are speaking to Kishoi and Michael on gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is the topic that we are discussing today. So keep the conversation flowing from wherever you are. Remember, Facebook is Youth Root of Quinto Wafula, Twitter is 8wafula_Quinto, and YouTube it is Sir Quinto. We are taking a short commercial break, but we'll be right back after the break, where we'll be concluding on this topic. We'll be looking what has government done now that these cases of gender-based violence do increase daily. So what initiative has government taken? What remedy has it taken to make sure that we are curbing these issues, these matters to do with with gender-based violence? We'll be right back after the break. pleasure by the having you. It is a great pleasure just knowing that you are watching this show that is ever saying that we are empowering youth for a better future. And today we are discussing on gender-based violence is our topic today. With Michael Kishoian, who is a youth ambassador, girl child ambassador, boy child ambassador. So he's a youth ambassador. We're discussing on that issue because it is a rampant issue. It is an issue that is arising. It is a matter that is arising, and in Youth Root we are focusing on such issues. Remember, you can keep the conversation flowing from wherever you are. Twitter @Wafula_Quinto, hashtag Youth Root, Facebook Quinto Wafula. You can do the same, Facebook Youth Root, and we be communicating from wherever you are. So welcome back, Mr. Kishoian.
Thank you so much.
We can now look into what initiative has government to or taken to do or to curb these issues to do with the GBV. Which initiative has government taken?
Okay, I can say that the government has really has really done its best to see the gender-based violence reduced. One, it has developed rescue centers in around the country.
Yeah, we also have 1195.
Yeah.
Toll free.
Yeah. So the government has set up rescue centers for these people. Also, we also see that the Kenya Police Service is really working to see this done, and also the chiefs, the local chiefs, are really working to see this gender-based violence reduced. You might see that chiefs are working tirelessly to see that female genital mutilation is reduced. We are also seeing that I've said that the government using the police service is really working to see that the gender-based violence is reduced by giving sentences to the suspects and also those people who are found guilty of committing these crimes. They are, if you find that if a person rapes a girl, he or she is sentenced to 10 years jail.
Yeah.
So that's really something that the government has done to see these things done. The government also is working closely with the churches, the clergy, to preach the peace or to preach the good news of ending gender-based violence. We also see that the government is really partnering with hospitals to provide a first hand or the surest way to protect these people from gender-based violence. You find that a person has been brutally caned or brutally beaten. The first place to take is the hospital. You find that a lady or a girl has been raped. The first place to visit is the hospital to see if this person has not contracted the disease or gotten pregnant in the practice or in the act. Also, the government has also sensitized people or engaged youth in this I can say the awarenesses or the campaigns that see that gender-based violence is reduced. And also, one very important thing that the government has done, we have youth that are really working tirelessly to see that gender-based violence is reduced, and the government has recognized them. We have one of whom is the chairperson of Tareto Africa, which sees that gender-based violence and people are brought to this knowledge that gender-based violence is very important or very bad, or the importance of educating on gender-based violence. Recently, last month, Leshan Kereto was recognized by the president for his outstanding activity or outstanding passion to see gender-based violence reduced and gender equality. So the government is really recognizing these people and motivating them to work harder, and also motivating those who are working on the same to work harder to be recognized. That's also something that is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday I was discussing with somebody, and I tried to mention something, and I told him about rape, but he told me that once you are arrested, if you molest or if you rape, I'll use rape, and it ought not to be rape. If you rape a girl or somebody below the age of 18 years, now that is not rape, it is defilement. Rape is like somebody who is above 18, but you're doing it out of his consent. So not only government has set out ways to fight this GBV, NGOs have also done the same.
Yeah.
So what are some of the ways that NGOs are ensuring that that they are reducing these cases of GBV?
Okay, before that, I would like to embark on the government, the government's activity. Okay, I'll read something here. Okay, the government has also introduced or put a hotline, a free hotline, that when you face any gender-based violent form, or if you are molested from any opposite gender or the same gender, you can call this number 1195. That's the National Gender-Based Violence Hotline. It's something that the government has really done its best to introduce this hotline, so that people are in a position to freely report any cases of gender-based violence. We also have the 999 of the Kenya Police Service, or 112 for the Kenya Police Service. So the government has really worked on that. Now coming back to the non-government organization or non-profit organizations, we also have the first one. We have the United Nations Human Rights and whatever. It's really working to see that gender-based violence is reduced. We also have the World Health Organization. It has really worked worldwide to see that gender-based violence, any case that is reported, is worked on to the latter. Now coming to this, because we have numerous non-governmental organizations, you find that a person today has just woken up, started a non-governmental organization, and these are very, very pertinent. They are very important because they are trying to curb gender-based violence in the grassroots. In that, even we have vernacular or local or community-based organizations which use the vernacular language to instill knowledge, to instill this information to these people. Because when you find a Maasai or someone from Maasai land has initiated a CBO, this person is in a position to use the vernacular language to instill knowledge or to make this awareness approached, or to make this awareness seen. So they are working closely with the government, because you see that the non-governmental organizations are recognized and are registered under the Ministry of Social Work. So and gender that Ministry of Gender Equality, or I can say that social. It's a ministry that deals with the social people's way of life. So the government allows this organization to register themselves so that they can work closely with the government.
So Now back to government, both government and let's say private offices. This GBV experience, or what can we say according to your research or according to how you've been finding or getting things? Is GBV still there? Kwamba unapata kwamba somebody you go to a government office or to a private office, but you are told for you to get this service, because you are a lady, you must do this, you must do that. These cases have been reported in the past. So how can we work out to ensure that we reduce such cases?
Okay, as I said, that this is a case of coercion. And coercion is a case where someone is manipulated or someone is harassed in favor of something. You find that the lecturers use the ladies for them to give them marks or to give them admissions and all that. Ladies are vulnerable to this. And also you find that for one to be employed, you must satisfy someone sexually. That's very bad.
Very bad.
You find that a young man must satisfy a lady, an old lady, for him to get a job. And because we want jobs, we just give in. We give our consent. That is very, very sad and very, very, it's not good. So the only way we can reduce this, stand by our own virtues, stand by our own principles. If someone wants to use you, or I cannot say that is using, but that is misusing. If someone wants to misuse you because he or she wants to give you some favors, I would rather advise you not to take it. Don't defile yourself. Don't work against your virtues, against your principles, in order to give yourself out, to be manipulated or to be used by these people. So I'll rather advise us, let us work according to our I'm sorry for the interruption. Let us work according to our principles. If you find yourself that you are being molested, I would rather advise you, don't give yourself out, so that you can be given favors.
Yeah, so it starts with the personal initiative.
It starts with you, with yourself. It's something that you can avoid. If this is something that you can avoid, then do so. Then avoid it. But if you find yourself that you have found yourself in that scenario, you can seek help from the government. I've given out the hotlines, of the government, and also the police service. You can use those hotlines, and also you can speak out. I know that these are the people. You can forward the names of these people to the relevant authorities for these people to be sued.
Yeah.
And I can also say, if you see that someone is in that position, or in that someone wants to misuse you, you can use your voice. You can record your voice. You can record intellectually. You can record that person.
But there are these who say that now I will report, I can go to the court. Again, you say that I only lied, I only cheated, I'll not have a lawyer. The people who fear reporting, the people who are molested, the people who are, even you find somebody is defiled, somebody is raped, but she just keep it for him or herself, because he says, I'll start speaking out. Like, you go and consult your parent, but your parent tells you, now if you go to report, now how will we do what? Like, poverty is affecting somebody. Somebody is poor, you have been defiled, but what will you do? After all, you say that you'll reach there, but you'll not have evidence. You'll not, like, you might have evidence, but things might change. So the people who are fearing on this, the people who are fearing to report, what is the advice to such people?
I can advise these people. This is your life. Don't fear. The first thing, don't fear. I know it's very hard because this is something that is very shameful that has been done to you. Because when someone comes to me and tell me something has been done to me, the perception of that person, the perception of that person is that it is very shameful. But let me tell you this, that we are here, we are approachable. For example, for instance, here in Mount Kenya University, I'm here, someone else is there. You can approach me, I can advise you.
The others will fear shame.
Yeah, but the first thing I've said that don't fear. So after you not fearing, approach us. We are all students. We are all youth. Approach me. It is very hard for a person to approach the youth or the lawyer rather than approaching the youth, the fellow youth. You can approach me, you can approach another person, you can be helped. Because I can say that we are in a position to help you. We know this organization that can, and we can link you up with these organizations, and you can be helped.
So, as we do parting shots, Mr. Kishoi, and due to time and some issues there, so as we do parting shots, what is your conclusion on this? What is your last advice? What is your advice to the audience that are watching this issue on GBV, gender-based violence?
Okay, my advice is that let us speak out. That's the only thing that we can do. Let us speak out, and also find your friends who can help you. The one who understands you, the one who you know that they love you, and those that you know that they can help you in any way. Find confidence. These are very, very key people in your life. Find a confidence, the person you can share your personal life with, and you can be helped. And when you face any form of gender-based violence, always speak out, because when you speak out, that pain is reduced, or that pain is spoken out, and you cannot be depressed. Another thing that I can tell you is that always be on the lookout. Watch out that you may not be manipulated. And also take care of those so that you cannot be killed, because I can see that nowadays people are very heartless. You find just a person that has killed you without any reason. So let us be on the lookout, let us be very careful. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kishoyan, for having time with us
today
in the show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, dear audience, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you in our today's Youth Road show. You can also comment there on YouTube. Tell us which topic do you feel that we ought to discuss, which is a topic that you feel is a matter that is affecting youth. Do you feel that you want to communicate it to youth who outside there who might be facing a lot of challenges? Because if you speak, if you share with somebody, I'm sure it will change somebody's life. I've been Sir Quinto. It has been a pleasure having you in our today's show, dear audience. Thank you so much for having time with us. Ensure that you subscribe to our channel. Then after subscribing, you can also like our video and also click the notification bell. Thank you so much for your time. Goodbye.